You have reached the drug testing notification system. Press 1 for English. Usted ha llamado. Enter your ID number.
Beep boop beep beep boop boop beep.
Does your last name begin with P-O-I? If yes, press do not test today. Do not test today.
Howdy. It's been a while. I am an inspiration, emotionally charged, driven person. So if I don't feel like I'm in the middle of something completely epic, then I don't even feel like it's post-worthy. So I am driving, which A is dumb and B is dumb. So there's that. I am on my way to probation. Sorry about the weird angle, but you're on a tripod stuck into my car, and that's so I don't wreck. But what I want to specifically talk about is just how hard it is to come through recovery and still have lingering judicial issues. And I believe that a lot of people in my situation are probably going to be suffering from this very thing. And it sucks. I am almost 2 years fully in from clear and free of meth completely. So I've put a lot of distance, a lot of space, a lot of time between me and drugs. The problem has been, well, a lot of times you come into recovery because you are in jail and they don't hand out drugs there. That did not happen to me. Even if you're not currently in a mass amount of trouble, there are a lot of folks, that come into recovery with lingering, outstanding issues, because the last thing in the world you want to do when you've been caught doing drugs or being around drugs or some kind of issue whilst on drugs, you ignore it, don't go to court, because last thing you want to do is walk into court high. And I've done that. I highly recommend not doing it. So you get into this intensive recovery, whether you're in an inpatient program or whatever, but those issues are still waiting for you, okay, when you're done. And the clearer that your mind gets, the more ridiculous your judicial issue seems. Because you realize that you are a complete idiot to have gotten yourself in that situation anyway. And B, you're not that person that they are trying to judge on anymore. So they're judging on something that may or may not have allegedly happened with you involved. And yet you have put this amount of time between you and that, and all of this work in recovering your life. And so when you have to stand in front of a judge, he is judging on a life that you don't have anymore, that you don't even identify with, hopefully, anymore. And it stings like hell. Nobody wants to get in trouble, but a lot of people find in recovery that trouble, that last, bid that you do or whatever, is the one that stops your drug use. And yes, there is a weird amount of thankfulness for that. That is not what happened to me. Let me explain what happened to me. Finally. And let me just say this. I did not share all these things because I was trying to hide them, but I'm still currently in litigation in one of them. And so, I'm not trying to tip my hat, because the judicial system is a game. It's a game. It's like Pokemon cards, dude. You put out your thing, they put out their thing to see who's going to win, and you have a battle, and then whoever wins. And the judicial system, as you probably realized in your lifetime, doesn't exactly work on right or wrong. It was built for that, but that's not what it does, and that's not how it operates a lot And it isn't that we don't want it to. We do want it to until we are the ones in trouble. And then we're looking for the plea and the whatever. And this causes all these weird shades of gray that aren't real legally. But you know, in the ones and zeros of right and wrong, the judicial system in America has built in all these shades of gray, and so now we operate on nothing but shades of gray. You can't even say you've done it anymore because the laws are written like, okay, all right, let's just talk about it. You know, I don't know what states do, but in my state, there's no rape charge. Sexual assault and then levels. And if you've ever been raped, you know damn well that when it happens to you, there are no freaking levels of sexual assault. It's rape. But if you are not even brought up on charges that explicitly describe what the fuck it is you've done, how are you ever supposed to actually identify with it, ergo be responsible for it, ergo fix it? Duh. However, being one human being, it is rough to do much to change it. Do I vote? Constantly. I am crazy political. Do I bring that up a lot? No, because why? Especially right now. I'm saying it should be this way. Well, we all know it should be this way. That's not the way it is. Play the game. When you are involved in a court case, especially one that some really serious weight to it. About a year and a few months after I had already started recovery, I wanted to help a person that I know had just gotten out of prison and wanted to change her life. Because I was so gung-ho about my recovery, I felt invincible and that I could, you know, seriously just affect someone else's life and help them the way that recovery had helped me. I was not ready to take on someone else's issues or someone else's problems. It put me in a very dangerous position for my own recovery. And I had this person and another person in my vehicle, and this person had mass drugs on her, unbeknownst to me. And when I say unbeknownst to me, I mean that there's no way to look back on this moment and say to myself with a straight face, I was blown away. Like, what? No, this girl needed help, and she was very honest about that I couldn't continue to help if she wasn't going to continue to try. So I already knew something was wrong. Okay, there it is. And I had this person in my car, and because of her behavior, I decided in this interaction that was it. I had brought it forth, she didn't care, and I was done. This is usually the exact moment that shit is going to hit the fan. And that's exactly what happened. My plates were expired. I got pulled over. She actually looked the part of a drug addict, which is also another issue that I get onto big, because I do too. Even now, I still exhibit traits of drug addiction because they are my norm and I'm used to them. Usually things attached to chaotic moments, stuff like that. I also have residuals in my skin, in my face, in my teeth. I mean, things of that nature that I cannot get past right now, that I can't fix. And it kills me because I'm so far away from that person that lost her teeth, that f***ed her skin, that did those things. And now I still look like that person. And anybody in the know realizes that I look like that person. And so there's always that. And so because I have that as well, I thought that maybe that's how the world was judging this person. But the minute that we got pulled over together, it dawned on me that this person really does look the part. And so anyway, the officer wanted to know about my license. I gave it to him, blah, blah, blah. He pulled me out of the car to talk to me about the person in my car. And when he did so, that person dumped every last bit of drug she had all over my vehicle. And so when we came back to the vehicle, the officer and I, there were shit there. Anyway, so when they, searched her, she had nothing. They searched me, I had nothing. But my car had everything, and so she and the person in my vehicle were released. I was arrested. My vehicle was impounded. Done. Anyway, it was just a nightmare. But there was certainly a lesson in it. So I got a lawyer. It cost me more to get my car out of impound than it did to buy it. And I still had a loan out on it at the time. Denver has this a nuisance and abatement team that operates outside of the law. And I'm not saying that because it happened to me. They never did anything but cost me a dime, which is the only reason they were built. And it's just ugly. It's horrible. I don't know how people can do that kind of job, honestly. But I don't know how I can do my job, though, either. So, all right, I got to stop this for a minute. Anyway, so there was no real amazing way to fight it, because what was in my car was in my car. Did I have proof that it was hers? Only inside. Did I have a great lawyer? Yep. Did I have support? Yep. Did my family know that I had nothing to do with this like that? Yep. Did all the people in recovery know? Yep. Was I okay? Yep. I don't know what happened to her. But I can tell you what happened to me. I ended up taking a plea on a charge that I didn't have anything to do with, that they will dispel as soon as I'm finished with whatever blah, blah, blah. But I fought it for almost a year. And so I got the least sentence possible of anything ever, ever, and ever. The judge that I had, he totally believed me and understood exactly what had happened. But the law is the law. And because I follow God, God tells me to follow my country and my rule makers and lawmakers. I ended up with a year probation. I have to take no classes or any of that stuff. But I still have to go and call every day to see if I have a piss test, like a whiz quiz, and I have one a week right now. They're about to drop me to the success unit. I was a success when I walked into that jail. Sort of. I wasn't on drugs when I walked into that jail. I was not a success. So, this charge has pushed me to be different, smarter, wiser, better at being able to listen to God and at myself. And it has been an amazing thing. Nothing that's horrendous is amazing when you're in it. But I am 6 months out of it now. It has been an amazing thing. I have been able to become a much better person because of it. I have been able to show God's word to help so many people along my path. And if that's what it meant, if God had to take me to hell again just to gain one more soul, I'm in. To look back and say, oh, you used me, God. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because that's what I've always wanted. So, there's that. So, the entire purpose of this story time and this video, and all my videos, in fact, is to open communication. Not just for the drug addicts or the people who are recovering, but for those of you who live lives with people who are recovering, or for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about. Yep, you. There are a lot of pitfalls that happen in recovery, things that can absolutely, completely derail someone. And if I can go through those first, make a way so that you don't have to, then let it be me. Relax, relate, and release. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to be from the to know what I'm saying.
You've got to relax, relate, and release into reality.
I think our jobs, once we've come through something this traumatic, is absolutely to grab a hold of the next person coming through something this traumatic. And if you've never been through it, that would be really hard for you to do. But if you watch my videos and subscribe, click notifications, you might have a better shot.